A very good day to everyone. Welcome to Raaonline. This is Dr. Shakir Ahmed, a faculty from Sri Ramchandra Faculty of Dental Sciences, and I'm here to talk to you on a topic of investing and casting in fixed partial denture. The contents of today's topic or seminar presentation will include an introduction, then we'll move on to what is the dental casting, what are the various steps, what are the basic requirements, and various steps involved in procedure will be discussed in detail. Then we'll also see about the various defects that can possibly occur at the end of a casting procedure. In various procedures or steps involved, we'll talk about sprueing, material selection, we'll talk about the investment material being used, then the alloys which is being used to cast and restoration. We'll talk about the investing procedure, wax burnouts, casting and recovery as well as the evaluation of the final casted restoration. Starting off with an introduction to the topic. By dental casting, we know that it is a procedure of casting a wax pattern which is getting converted into a metal casted restoration. So this here is a form of an indirect restoration. It can be an inlay, onlay, or any form of a crown which is being given as a part of a single restoration or a part of a fixed partial denture. So metal alloys has been used historically in dentistry for years together as a restorative material. So the lost wax technique which is being employed for millenniums together, not even decades, report states that it has been used even in Egyptian history. So that particular technique has been modified multiple times, but the core of the lost wax pattern, creating a mold and your molten metal alloy which is being poured into that particular wax pattern is the same. Then moving on to the applications of dental casting. It is used to fabricate various forms of indirect restorations, starting off from your inlays, onlays, single crowns, your fixed partial denture framework. It can be an all metal crown or a metal ceramic crown, and various other forms of restorations also. Before diving into the core of the subject, we'll talk about the basic definitions. Since we all know your dental casting procedure is your dental materials subject which have been taught to you during your first and second year of your dental graduation. So by now, we expect you to understand few of the basic definitions, but still we'll try to recollect all those right now here. So starting off with what is a cast. Cast is a procedure to produce a desired form by pouring or injecting a molten liquid. It can be a metal alloy which is in a molten state or a plastic material which is in a flowable state into a mold, allowing it to set and to create a restoration as in case of your dental casting restorations. So next is your casting as such. Casting is something that has been cast into a mold. Mold is nothing but an empty cavity which is formed after your wax pattern gets burned out and all the wax has been removed. An object again formed by solidification of a fluid that has been cast into the refractory mold is called as the casted restoration. So casting again is the action of pouring or injecting a flowable material into the refractory mold. We'll study about what is the refractory mold, what is the flowable material we are talking about here in later slides. Moving on to investing is a process of covering or enveloping wholly or in part an object such as a denture or a tooth, wax form or crown. It can be done during various processes like flasking your denture, where we invest your denture or your wax pattern and or your teeth arrangement in a plaster flask. Next you have your soldering, wherein two adjacent components which has to be soldered or oriented and positioned using a index which is usually of gypsum. Then we move on to your casting procedure, where we have different forms of investment material which will almost fully cover the restoration, along with the sprue inside which forms a channel through which the wax pattern melts and gets escapes and a mold is created, and onto which you will pour the molten metal, and that particular metal, once it solidifies, becomes the restoration. Clear? Then we move on to the lost wax casting technique. So this is another very important definition which you people have to know, because this is the technique which has been followed for years together with minimal modification, but it has been the same process in which you create a wax pattern of a structure which you have to fabricate in a metal. That wax pattern is invested into an investment material and it is heated sufficiently so that the entire wax is burnt out and it's released and removed from that particular investment material. So a cavity inside the center of the investment material, exactly in the shape of your wax pattern which you have fabricated, is created, and then you melt your metal pellets, and a molten metal is in the form of a liquid state is poured inside that cavity through a channel which is usually formed through a sprue. And once that particular metal which is flowed inside that mold cavity or mold space solidifies, it will be divested, where you remove all the excess investment materials and the restoration is taken out. All the finishing and polishing is done, so we obtain a final casted product which we desired for. It is used in various industries. Can be a casting of your metal parts in your cars or your gold jewelries, or we move on to your dental casting restoration, which we are concerned about. Next, we should have a basic understanding about what is a wax pattern. That is a positive likeness of an object which is about to be fabricated. Moving on to your dental casting investment. Again, I told you it is an investment material. It is an allotrope of silica and a bonding agent. So silica is a filler particle here. The bonding agent can be of gypsum or ethyl silicate or a phosphate bonded investment material. So refractory investment is nothing but it can withstand higher temperatures of your heat which is being subjected during your burnout as well as your casting procedures. Next, a refractory mold. The mold is a cavity which is created after the wax pattern which is inside the center of the investment material is burnt out.